First reason I did the Masterclass is because I can. As soon as I seen the pandemic coming, I instantly became aware of all the people around the world who did not have the toolkit I had. And every single week, we've never held back because it's our obsession with giving people the tools that they need, not just to cope with the pandemic, but to give them the tools that can take them away from uncertainty to a certain future. One thing you've got to realise about the Masterclass in the 12 areas, I sat one day and I said to myself, what is the sequence of deliveries that you could go through in a 12-week programme that would get you to completely understand and discover who you are? And what you're seeing firsthand with the Masterclass that we've just completed is people now have a set of tools. People are now being vocal and defining the future that they want to have. When I take them back to the timeline of before the first Masterclass, the blueprint of what they're describing now to what they were describing before the pandemic is unrecognisable. And the only thing that's changed what's going on in there is the tools that they have acquired across the 12 weeks of Masterclass.
Right from the first session, it was just, wow, this is not just a different, this is like a whole different stratosphere of different.
It's really resonated at this time where all the lockdown and everything, where a lot of people are kind of struggling to make sense of what's happening.
It came at the right time. I think what Stevie did was amazing.
It's been fantastic. I've learned a lot.
I think it's been an absolute revelation. A few epiphany moments. It's just been one of probably the best experience of what we've been going through for COVID-19.
It's more than I ever thought it could be, to be honest. I think that it's evolved week in, week out and got better and better and better.
Probably a more eloquent way to put this, but it's probably been the boot up the arse that I've needed in terms of aiming higher, thinking bigger and holding yourself accountable.
It's flown by, and every week it's another mind-blowing session.
So much seems to have changed. I can't actually remember a time when Stevie wasn't in my life.
I think in many ways I'm still processing that, to be honest.
Big thing for me is to handle my emotions better. Watching the Masterclass has helped me to deal with a lot of these problems that I've had in my head.
I suppose the only word, it's amazing. I mean, some weeks you think, oh, you had set the bar, but every single week the bar went higher and higher.
The last 2 weeks has been a massive reminder about all the things that we can control and how to go about controlling them in a really constructive way.
It's been absolutely world class. It's really, I think there's so many things to take from it.
It's been a challenge to take it all in. I think there's been that much information.
I think through the sessions, Stevie really challenged, and I think everybody in the call, and I more so got this, to think on a much bigger scale.
It's been fantastic because it opens up so many doors or conversations. You just can't explain it.
For me, it's kind of showing me that I'm kind of too busy doing the wrong things, basically.
Everything that Stevie's done and said and the messages that are given help you kind of plan out and map out your life, I suppose.
Trying to think back of the person I was 12 weeks ago to the person I am now, I suppose how far I've progressed and moved forward has been, I suppose I've done so much over the last 12 weeks. I think I've done more over the last 12 weeks than I've done over the last 6 months.
It's different for me because I've seen it from a different set of eyes. So being able to see how everybody reacted to stuff that I'd already been through in my own journey was eye-opening, because then I was able to look back and reflect on how I reacted when I went through these different areas of my own life.
For me, Stevie doesn't just give you golden nuggets, he opens the gold mine for you. There's so many nuggets, and it's not just coming out of one class and maybe taking one or two things away. There's literally dozens of them.
Some of the tools that he'd passed on, giving you things like, some of the emotional intelligence, giving you the confidence, basically to achieve, your true potential.
There's things that I've like seen and learned that will stay with me forever. I mean, I've reframed and rewritten my goals 3 times during the course of the masterclass, and they've gone from being very much about me to very much about actually what can I do in the world? How can I help other people?
The thing that I've learned the most, or the thing that I need to be reminded of the most, is just a positive mindset.
But it's definitely resonated with me that I do need to have some sort of, I suppose, support function, coach to help me get to where I want.
This thing has made me look in the mirror and look really hard at what I'm doing, what I'm spending my time at, what it should be, what I want to be. So there's going to be a complete transformation as far as I'm concerned.
I would probably say the importance of kind of alpha, being in an alpha state, getting to that as much as possible throughout the day, staying there.
It's about being focused and always looking forward, and don't be caught in the past.
Regardless of who's in the masterclass, everyone will get something that speaks to them.
Stevie talks about, and he calls it stillness, whereas for me it's just about taking time out throughout the day, stopping.
I think the main thing is mindset. The biggest thing that I was scared of when he mentioned it was kind of being asked, who am I?
Before this, I'll tell you now, I hadn't put on a pair of running trainers and run 5k in 5-6 years. I've got Strava now. Who knew? I'm a technophobe, but Strava, I've got a cycle 50k probably 4 times a week. And the rest of the time I'm running, people are wondering what's going on. You know what I mean? But I don't really care. I feel so much better for it.
The approach to goal setting and visualization, the idea of setting out different lanes, where lane 1 is you do nothing, lane 2 is you start to make some changes, and then visualize where that brings you in 12 months, 3 years time, and 10 years time.
For me, one big things is I want to try and be more present with like my wife and my daughter, and doing this masterclass has made me realise that that's one big thing that I need to work on.
So even adding the masterclass into the coaching has made a massive difference on us personally, because it's actually brought us closer as a family, not just me and Ross, but even the kids have commented on how it's changed us.
To have the benefit of Stevie for 12 weeks alone is brilliant, but to chuck in Corinne and Doug and Warren and Kenny, it's been massive. It's been absolutely brilliant to have those guys as well.
It's amazing, eye-opener, isn't it? Because you think that you've got the best strategy in place until you actually sit and listen to how somebody else is doing it and how they put things in place and how they make everything work, and then you're sitting thinking, wow, if we do that, we can be so much better than what we are.
That's the real thing. The speakers are so inspirational. They demand more of you. They make you feel like you're just playing at that. Be more.
When you're listening to someone like Doug White, who's done all these ultramarathons, and Ken, who's done like all these massive endurance feats, and I think about them when I'm trying to run my 3 miles without stopping. Come on,
whatever they're looking to do in their lives, it's inside them, and they just have to get out of their own way. I think that's the biggest message, is that we are our own biggest limitation to achieving optimization in our life.
I suppose they're the walking, talking examples that we have to kind of try and get to, if you want to say.
But off the back of Corinne, I've identified a charity that I want to kind of partner up with, and when I'm going on the next Reach Your Peak or whatever, then I'm going to be doing fundraising, etc. for it too, So
the reason that I joined in was to try and show the delegates that you can do anything you want to do, because there was a long time and lots of times where I thought and I was told that I wouldn't be able to do what I wanted to do.
I think the speakers have been incredible. I think that some of their achievements you would think weren't even possible. The stuff that some of these guys have achieved in their life, it actually brings a lot of perspective to how much more can be achieved by someone when they put their mind to it.
Your nervous system position, your feelings drive your chemistry. When you start to get a little scared,
okay, we need a bit more adrenaline. We need to numb some pain. We need to be on alert.
Warren was that was quite a story and kind of resonated with me because I played professional football as a kid, and his training regime and the big spreadsheet that was shown, that's probably a bit geeky, but I quite liked that, and I kind of thought, actually, that works. I like that.
Anything is possible. I think that's the key message. I believe if you plan and prepare anything in life, whether that's business, whether that's a challenge, whether it's personal, just know where you want to be and work with people, create a plan, and just establish what you need to do to get to that vision, to that goal. And if you can do that, you can do anything.
Definitely you connect with them because of real life experiences and how they've coped with it and how they've dealt with certain things and used certain techniques in their own life. So it helps you relate to that.
My message really is, I could almost condense it in 3 words, and that is, yes, you can. Once you've identified what your destination is, it's very easy to plan back from it. That there is no physical or mental reason to stop you actually achieving your hopes and dreams.
Things that they've achieved, the impossible. Things like I'm trying to remember some of the names, but some of the open water swimming to swim Loch Lomond, and even things like the guy was on swimming, the channel, and some of the mountaineering events, and some of the things that that they've achieved really consolidated how they've adopted the techniques and processes to achieve things that they were never thought were possible.
You need to find your journey, and the most important thing is that you get on the journey, and you look forward and you drive and you learn the lessons. You need to learn how to harness fear. You need to learn how your emotions are. You need to get more aware of actually how you operate. And for me, actually the Masterclass really gave you all the tools and insight that you actually need.
Yes, they added a layer of enrichment to the messages that Stevie was focusing on each week. And obviously the culmination of that was Dr. Bandler.
What's always worked for me is to practice, practice, practice. Master the meta model, master the Milton model, and learn to be a great hypnotist. It will convince you what people are capable of. Don't be afraid to give a suggestion that somebody's not going to carry it out. You give it to them one way, it doesn't work, do it another. Just keep changing no matter what you do and adapting till you get the results you're after. Because it's the way in which you think is more important than what you think.
I think he's wonderful. He's so energetic and surprising, and he's infectious with his kindness and his drive and his positivity.
Stevie gets inside you. He gets inside your head. He utterly becomes you, and straight away, like click a finger, he's telling you what you're doing wrong. What you're thinking.
A lot of the time, I don't even know what he's doing. You're going, what is it he's doing here? Not got a clue, and I don't feel the benefits till maybe a couple of weeks later, and you realise something just clicks. That's what he was talking about.
Stevie's style of coaching is madness. It's definitely unique, but there's method to it.
He has instilled certain thoughts in your head without actually realising it until you sit back and you reflect on the call and you're thinking, oh yeah, right. I see where it's come from there. So it's a different style, but I'm really enjoying it at the moment.
What I like about Stevie is there's nowhere to hide.
There's no airs of graces about Stevie. He is the same way in every single situation, and for me that works.
It's not what you'd expect, but it works.
He gives you a set of tools that definitely provide the potential for you to make some significant changes for the better in your life.
He's a human breed that I've never come across before in my whole life, and I think that the way that he comes across is so different that I think it actually resonates with people a lot more because he's so real. That's what I've got from it.
The guy is got an ability to be able to bring all the stuff that's causing you pain to the forefront and let you fix it all like a jigsaw in front of you.
I would just advise everybody to actually go for it and how it's going to make a massive impact on everything that they're doing. Not just if they've got a business, but personal, because it's made a massive difference with us on a personal note as well, in a relationship.
We're talking at the minute about getting involved with a few different businesses now, and it's it's something I wouldn't even be thinking about that at the minute if I hadn't joined Stevie, so who knows where this could go and where it'll lead.
I don't think Stevie Kidd expects to do that magic wand or to give anyone that magic wand, but what he will teach you is how to find that strength within yourself, find the answers within yourself to make the change.
Just do it. Open your mind to it.
Sign up. That would be my only advice, is just do it. Don't think about it, just do it.
If you're interested in personal development, or even if you've thought about working with Stevie or interested in the pathway itself, for me, the Masterclass is a perfect way to begin and get to know Stevie as a person and know why he is who he is. And then it's just fast tracked from there.
It's a massive investment in time, but I just think they need to give the time. People need to put the time and the effort in if they're serious of changing and progressing their life.
I think you just have to, if you don't go into it with an open mind, you're just going to let all this effort and all this opportunity bypass you.
It's just a case of taking the plunge, basically, and wanting to kind of better yourself and get to where you want your wildest dreams.
Jump in both feet, really, really commit, and it'll be life changing in whatever way you need to change your life.
Take action and make sure you are involved in every single minute of it.
Oh, absolutely, do it. Do it with an open mind, but do it. Don't do it if you're trying to squeeze it into your life, because you won't get the value out of it. You need to partition the time to be able to do it.
Give everything. My best advice would be just don't keep your cards close to your chest. You're either in or you're out. There's no shades of grey with this. I just feel that if you can't give it 100%, don't bother signing up. If you give it 100%, you will get the maximum back out of it.
When people come to me, one of the things that I'm assessing is where they're living in their head. If they have a clear destination across multiple areas of their life of where they are to where they want to be, because from the Masterclass it takes about another year to complete the full pathway. So what is that? Brain mapping. But while you're doing brain mapping, you're starting to train at another level. The way you trained for Reach Your Peak Scotland was intense, but now you're going to the roof of Africa, which is nearly 20,000 feet. And what we do is we take people to Africa and we take them up where they sleep in tents, and we take them right to the roof of Africa and bring them back down. And when you bring them back down, we realign the coaching again. Because all of a sudden, from coaching, Masterclass, Reach Your Peak Scotland, now they've done Kilimanjaro, what's changed is their beliefs. It's getting people excited about life, where they can start every day they get up in the morning, they're starting to pay attention more to what they don't know rather than what they know. Because it's what they don't know and walking that path of the unknown, walking through the obstacle is the way. People are going to start to realise that they could have went to the end of life and not even reached anywhere near their potential. But now they have the tools and how to design that quality of life that they want. And one thing's for sure, they'll achieve it.